Hello students, this video is based on ocean resources or ocean floor, which is in 11th standard geography book. So we have already completed the first part, that is the structure of the ocean floor. Now in this video we're going to study about the ocean resources, what are the biotic and abiotic factors in it, along with how these resources are used. So let us see first what is ocean resource. Okay, so ocean resources provide jobs, goods, services for billions of people around the world and have an immense economic importance. Their resources include food, fuel, renewable energy, minerals, sand, gravel, and tourism. There are varieties of resources found abundantly at different levels of ocean floor. So they can be classified as abiotic resources and biotic resources. So as we know that you get various types of minerals from ocean floors. Along with that you get the pearls, which has been created by the fish. Along with that you get so many fish, and the fishes are used to make medicines. You can extract oil from the fish, you can use for your own consumption. So these are the things which you obtain from ocean. Okay, some of the ocean floors are very much rich in some of the minerals. So because of that, the study of ocean floor and the study of ocean resources is very much important, and it's in a great demand. Now let us see how these biotic and abiotic resources are being classified. So let us start with the first part, that is the biotic resource. So it includes mainly the plants and animals. So whichever plants and animals which are found inside the ocean floor comes in your biotic resources. So the oceans provide a habitat for thousands of species of marine plants and animals, which are the source of food for many organisms including man. So you get varieties of plants, you get varieties of coral reliefs, then you get varieties of different fishes in the ocean floors. So it is a food for themselves also, and it can be a food for human being also. A fish forms a valuable source of food and nutrients. Coral reefs are major part of the ocean ecosystem. In addition to fish, mollusks and seaweeds are found. Many sea animals provide oil, leather, glue, cattle, feed, and other useful products. So you can make several things from the ocean resources, and which are like oil. You can make a glue, you can use it for cattle feed. So these are the things which you obtain from your ocean resources. So in the medicinal industry, besides medicinal plant found underwater, pearls and corals are widely used. Seaweeds grow easily in seawater and have been used as a food for centuries. Seaweeds are also used for making the products such as skin care ointments, and also used as a fertilizer. So the seaweeds which you obtain from the plants, so these are basically used for your skin care ointments, as well as it is used as an fertilizers for the purpose of agriculture. So there are microorganisms which produce organic material, and these are called as plankton. So there are two types of plankton. The first is photoplankton, and your second part is your zooplankton. So all the plants comes under your photoplankton, and all the animals or the microorganisms which are found, they come under your zooplankton. So this is the difference between photoplankton and zooplankton. So all in short, we can say that all the living things like plants, animals comes under your biotic resources. Now let's see about the abiotic resources. The world's ocean contain tremendous abiotic resources which have partially exploited till date. The most common resources are sodium chloride, that is the common salt. So basically half portion of your ocean resources are being exploited currently. Okay, so large amount of common salt, the salt which we eat, so that salt is obtained from the sea water, the saline water. So that is the first thing which has been exploited in large amount. A large number of metallic and non-metallic minerals are found on the ocean floor. For example, potassium occurs in large quantities. Limestones are formed extensively in the tropical areas of the world as a result of precipitate material by the corals and plants. The most important mineral extracted from the sea floor are your petroleum and natural gas. To obtain the fish or mineral oil, development of technology is very much essential because there are available in deep oceans. So, while obtaining these from biotic and abiotic resources, precautions should be taken to maintain the ecological balance of your ocean environment also. And it is important to consider their use with respect to the sustainable development. So, even though the ocean floor is rich in various types of resources like biotic and abiotic resources, so you should take the care that you don't make an imbalance in the ecosystem of your ocean environment. Okay, everything should be balanced. So that care should be taken. And whenever you want to extract any type of petroleum or natural gas or any type of mineral from the ocean floor, it is not an easy job. You need some advanced technology, you need some advanced mechanization to extract these minerals from your ocean floor. So that precautions should also be taken during the exploitation of your ocean resources. So here is the difference between biotic and abiotic. So under biotic you can see organic matter, you can see the living things, you can see oysters, blue crabs, zooplankton, phytoplankton and jellyfish. So these are the things which can come under your biotic factors. Now, if we take into consideration the abiotic factors, in that you see all the non-living things, the climate, the sunlight, the temperature, the nutrient enrichment, the humidity, and the soil. So, these are your abiotic factors. So, always keep in mind the biotic factors are the living organisms like plants and animals or microorganisms also, whereas the abiotic factors are all the non-living things like minerals, resources. So, these are your abiotic things. Now let us see that how we can use ocean for other purpose. Okay, so the first use of the ocean is for energy purpose. So energy from the ocean can be utilized in the form of tidal energy as well as in the form of thermal energy. So let us see the difference between tidal energy and thermal energy. So the phenomena of tides release large amount of energy. Thus tidal energy can be used to generate electricity. However, there are certain difficulties in tapping the tidal energy. So efforts are being made to tackle these limitations. In 2016, a massive tidal turbine in the Bay of Fundy, Nova Scotia, began generating electricity for the first time. So it was enough to power 500 homes. So efforts to increase the installation are being carried out. So tidal energy is obtained from the tides which come and go daily several times. It works ceaselessly. Okay, it works non-stop. There is no halt for the tides. Okay, so you get large amount of energy because it releases a large amount of energy. So how can you convert this tidal energy into electricity? So for that you require a mechanization, you require a lot of efforts. So that is only a limitation in this case, otherwise it is very much benefited. So one of the place like Nova Scotia, they tried to convert the tidal energy into the electricity, and that much electricity was generated which was able to light up the homes of 500 people. Okay, 500 homes were lighted by this tidal energy which was converted into electricity. So they are still working on it and they want to increase the amount of energy. So this is how your tidal energy is going to work. Next is your thermal energy. Thermal means what? The temperature differences. So the temperature differences of seawater helps in generating the energy. the surface water of the tropical region may have 25 degrees to 30 degrees of temperature, while the deep sea water may have less than 5 degrees of Celsius. The gradient of the temperature is used to run a generator to produce an electricity, and floating these generators besides a temperature differences have been designed in Belgium and Cuba. So now here in the case of thermal energy, the difference in the temperature of the water is going to allow you to generate an energy. So basically the surface water which is exposed to the sun has a temperature near about 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. But the water which is deep inside, the temperature is very less over there. Okay, it is near about 5 degrees Celsius. So because of this much difference, there is a lot of difference between the two temperatures. So because of these gradient in differences, you can convert that energy into the thermal energy. So still they are working, and Belgium and Cuba has already designed a generator based on these temperature differences. Okay, and they are using this generator to produce an electricity. So this is how ocean is used, or the ocean water, or you can say the different forms of oceans can be used to convert it into a different like energy into electricity. Now the next is drinking water. As we all know that ocean is totally fulfilled, or it is completely covered by water. So due to high salt contained in the sea, it is not suitable for drinking or for irrigation directly. But sea water can be converted into fresh water. So that process is called as desalination. So what is desalination? Desalination is the process to remove a salt from the sea water. So it is done in several ways, by heating the water, then freezing the water, or by some electrical processes. So these methods are very costly and can be implemented when water is desperately needed, such as in desert region. So countries like Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Spain, Algeria, Cyprus, etc. use desalinated water for drinking. So basically we all know that large amount of water bodies is covered by sea and ocean, which has a salinity water. The salt content is very high. So that type of water is not a potable water. We cannot drink that water, and neither we cannot use it for agriculture also. So the process by which we can convert the salty water into a potable water is called as desalination. But this process requires a lot of time and it is very costly. Okay, so because of this, it is still lagging behind. This process is still lagging behind. But there are some places where there is very much deficiency of drinking water. The places like Saudi Arabia, Oman, Spain, Algeria, and Cyprus. So these places or these countries have already started the process of desalination, and they are converting the sea water into the potable water. So this is how the ocean water can also be converted into the potable water and can be consumed for drinking purpose as well as for agriculture purpose. Next is trade, transport and tourism. So maritime transport is the transport of people or cargo by water. Transportation by water is cheaper than any other modes of transport. The seas and oceans are the most convenient natural medium for transport. The Atlantic Ocean route is the most important and busiest ocean route in the world because it joins the economical and industrial developed regions of the world, such as North America and Western Europe. Ocean tourism comes in many forms like cruises, scuba diving, fishing, beach tourism, etc. And such activities are increasingly becoming popular. In many areas, massive new tourist developments have been built, which include resorts and marines. And these activities in turn affect the ocean habitats and environment. So, as we all know, amongst all the modes of transportation like roadways, airways, and waterways, the cheapest mode of transportation is your waterway. The carrying capacity of the ship is very high, as well as the fuel consumed by your ship is very low. So, because of this feature, the transportation cost is very low. So, most probably, whenever a long distance of transportation is considered, so that time the waterway is definitely considered as an economic per transportation system. So, one of the most famous oceanic route is your Atlantic Ocean route, as well as we have Suez Canal, we have Panama Canals. So, these are your ocean routes which are used to connect various countries as well as various continents and to carry away the trade between all of them. So, this is how you can use oceans, sea for your trade, transportation, as well as tourism. So, the places like which are very much favorable or famous, if we consider about the coastal areas, then the other tourism activities like cruises, scuba diving, beach tourism is also becoming popular because of other sports activities which have been carried away at the coastal area. Now we'll see the international resource. There are some international institutions which regulate the resources. The ocean resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belong to the open ocean, and not to the individual country can utilize this without the concurrence of international institution. So each and every country can exploit the resources only till 200 nautical miles. Okay, the area surrounding it by 200 nautical miles, but beyond that, beyond the 200 nautical miles, the area is totally controlled by exclusive economic zone or the international institutions, and no country is allowed to utilize the resource from there. Okay, if suppose if we take into consideration about India, so India is allowed to capture the resources only till 200 nautical miles, but beyond 200 nautical miles India is not allowed to extract the resources. The whole authority is under the international institution. So this is how is the rule which is taken. Next is marine pollution. Now, as we all are visiting to coastal areas, then we are extracting the resources from coastal areas, we travel through coastal areas, we do the trade and transportation through coastal areas. So now, because of intervention or interference of human in the coastal areas, so because of that, marine population has become a biggest threat. Importance of the ocean is increasing day by day in various ways. Human dependence on oceans is likely to increase manifold in these days to come. However, nowadays the oceanic waters are getting populated on large scale, and this causes deterioration of natural quality of ocean water. So because of large amount of pollutants, the water quality is getting degraded, the coastal areas or the beaches are getting polluted, as well as the aquatic animals which are surviving in it, even they are losing their life because of marine pollution. The leakages of oil from oil transportation system, oil extraction from coastal areas, disposal of solid waste containing radioactive material, atomic waste, etc. are causing large scale of pollution of oceanic water. The effluents brought by river discharges the disposal of water waste from coastal cities. The waste from the industries and many other similar factors are polluting the oceanic waters. As a result, the very existence of marine life is threatened. So basically, because of large amount of pollutants which we release, the ships which carry the oil, and if there is any leakage in the ship, then definitely that oil is going to surround the whole oceanic water. So because of all these things, some radioactive materials or some atomic test materials, so these discharges are going to cause a large amount of pollution in your oceanic water, and then they are adversely going to affect the marine life which is been staying in your oceanic floor. So you have to take care about it and take the certain precautions for it. So this is all about your marine pollution. So here is the end of this chapter, ocean resources. I hope all the topics have been cleared. If any problem, you can please comment me in the comment section. So thank you for watching and do subscribe the channel.